Okay, so you bought an Alesis, whatever. You bought the Nitro Mesh Kit. You know, you probably got like Superior Drummer or EZ Drummer or something like that, and you're like, oh yeah, you know, it'll work with it, right? Because, you know, maybe you asked about it, maybe you just assumed. Anywho, so you bring it home and you set it up. You're not really too keen on hooking up a bunch of MIDI cables and all that. The USB option sounds great to you. It's just one cable. I suggest you get yourself a nice long cable, kind of what I have. Anywho, I want to show you how to get this to work. I'm going to use Pro Tools as an example because part of the problem is when you open up something like I'm using EZ Drummer2. When I open that application standalone, I can connect it and I can get this to work. Now there's a few caveats to getting it to work. First off, you're going to have this thing on and connected before you open the application. I'd also suggest you download a tool. It's a driver setup. It's called ASIO for all, and that's ASIO for all. So you can download that for free. Make sure you have that installed before you do all this. I would install that first. Then hook up your drum set, turn it on, start opening applications afterwards. Let's take a look at the screen. I'll show you all the settings I did in Pro Tools to get it to work with EZ Drummer. Had some problems with the hi-hat initially after I had finally got it set up. So without further ado, let's look at my computer screen. Alright, so the first thing, as I said earlier, you're going to want to do is come here, go to a web browser, go to Google, whatever, just search ASIO for all. You'll see this website, www.asioforall.org. Select that website, download and install the ASIO for all driver. Alright. Okay, so after you've downloaded and installed the ASIO for all driver, simply open up your EZ Drummer Standalone. If you're going to run it in standalone, just ensure that you have the E-Kit turned on and connect to the computer via USB before you open the application. Come to settings here, go to audio MIDI setup. Under audio device, you can choose device type ASIO, ASIO device, ASIO for all, and then under MIDI device, select the Alesis Nitro device. It should show up now. You can hit rescan devices to see if it pops up. That's something you'll usually have to do if you connect the device afterwards, and sometimes it doesn't work right, which is why I would implore you to connect the device first before opening the application. Okay, so once you have that, you can go to Menu, Settings, eDrums, and come to the eDrums section. And just select Alesis, and you should be good to go. So now your eDrums should work, and let's test that out right now. So if you're going to run this in the DAW, and this is where most people have a problem, what you'll want to do is go ahead and open up your DAW. I'm going to use Pro Tools as an example. Okay, so just make sure, and I've already got everything pretty much set up in this template. Just ensure that you have a stereo MIDI track with the EZ Drummer instrument selected to it, right? So you can go to multi-channel plugin, you can go to instrument and select the EZ Drummer application there, right? Okay, so once you have that set up, the next thing you're going to want to do is come here, go to Menu, Settings. So in the EZ Drummer application itself, go to eDrums and make sure the mapping is set to Alesis DM10. Now if you're in the DAW, you have to set it to DM10. And the reason why is the regular Alesis mapping is not going to work. It's going to have you're going to have a problem with your hi-hat if you do not select DM10. So just make sure you have that set up. I don't have any hi-hat pedal correction, haven't needed it. Under MIDI events, make sure that you have MIDI out and MIDI program change enabled. Those might not be required, but it's what I selected. Okay, and the next step is to come here and go to Setup, MIDI, MIDI Studio. You'll have this little window pop open. Create an instrument. You can name it whatever you'd like. Select manufacturer Alesis, right? Then select the model, and you'll notice that the Nitro Mesh is not in the model list. Just select DM Pro. Afterwards, you can select input port Alesis Nitro emulated. Now you should see this. You might not, and I'll show you why you might not. That's fine. You can just leave it empty for now. Once you have those settings in there, they'll stay. Just simply close the window. Now go back to Setup and go to MIDI input devices. This window should pop up. Just make sure you have the Alesis DM Pro selected. Okay. The last thing you'd need to do, and you can do these pretty much in no particular order. But if you come to Setup, MIDI Beat Clock, make sure you have the EZ Drummer application and the Alesis Nitro emulated selected, and you should be good to go. The last thing you're going to need to do, and you're going to have to do this to make sure you're recording sound, is just make sure that you have the track set to record enabled. Once you have the track set to record enabled, it should work, and let's do a test to see if it is working. Alright, so yeah, I had trouble with that hi-hat initially, and the culprit to that hi-hat not working correctly was the E-drum setting here to Alesis DM10. And that's it. Well, once you have that set up, you should be able to use that Nitro Mesh as an actual MIDI instrument. And there you have it. Good luck. Thanks for watching.